Welcome back to the D&D Talk Wrestling Podcast, Episode 3.
We're the podcast that makes you appreciate all the effort people put into their other podcasts.
We don't put no effort into this thing.
Once in a while.
We do more writing down and learning about stuff than we do the other part of it.
You know, it's going to come with time. It's going to come with time.
So this week's episode is memorable heel/face turns. What is a heel or a face?
Basically, the face is the good guy. The hero of the story, a la Captain America.
Babyface. It used to be baby. Well, I guess it probably still is babyface, but they just shortened it to face.
Yes. So basically, this is the good guy in wrestling. Heel is the bad guy, the villain. We did some quick research to try to look for origin stories on it. There was nothing really. Heel is basically just a slang term that they decided to use. Face could be like tied into the face of the product, the face of the company, the good guy that everybody wants to see. But yeah, that's just a quick little rundown on what those two mean. And basically, we're going to go over some of the most memorable turns in history. And what we mean by turn is basically going from good guy to bad guy, or vice versa, bad guy to good guy.
There's not too many bad guy to good guy, but
there's a significant amount of memorable or important moments in history that revolve around a certain wrestler just changing sides, leaving the audience shocked, and really building on the story and where it's going to go from there. So
you got more than me again, if you want to go first. Even though I'm sure we still have some of the same. A lot of the same.
So I think both of us could probably say that doing the research for this, even going off the top of our heads, that wrestlers going from bad guys to good, essentially face turns, was harder to actually think about and find than big heel turns that happen. So
I feel like it's more of an, when you turn heel or evil, it's more of an impact too. It's more of a remembrance thing.
Yeah, I think so too, because you're doing something. Being a good guy, like, okay, you're doing something good, everybody's going to cheer for you and everything, but when someone that's a good guy turns evil, we'll say, that's, to me, sticks out more and is more memorable.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, I'll start off with one of the first ones I have, and like every other episode that we have, these are in absolutely no particular order whatsoever.
Nope.
Just basically how we thought of them, how we researched them, and how we wrote them down. So, I will get into it. With my first face turn that I have here, it is Batista after winning the Royal Rumble.
I have Batista leave Evolution.
Yep, you have the same one too?
Yep.
All right, cool. The best part about it was the segment in the ring. How he was in the ring with Evolution. He was in there with Flair and Hunter. And they were really pushing him to go
to SmackDown.
To go to Raw. To challenge for the Raw title.
You're right.
And because Hunter was the champion of SmackDown at the time. And it was that whole like lead up to it, the whole...
I mean, well, it started with him winning the Rumble.
Well, yeah, year. Obviously.
Yeah.
I said that in the beginning. Do you listen to anything that I have to say whatsoever?
You should, yeah, but we should have... If you're going to start with this one, we should have started with another one first. But no, keep going. Go ahead. I'm going to bounce off of this one when you're done.
Did you not understand the no particular order type thing?
So there's no particular order, but
we are true to our words.
There's a couple that need to be done in an order.
We are true to our words.
All right.
No
cool.
order.
All right, yeah.
I'm about to have a heel turn against this guy pretty soon. I'm just going to be honest with you.
That's fine.
Anyways, what I was saying was basically Batista was in the group Evolution with Triple H and Ric Flair. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to get Batista to challenge for the championship on Raw, and Batista ended up
for the WWE title.
Yeah,
against JBL.
Batista ended up saying no, he's going to challenge Hunter, essentially making the crowd just.
Well, he did the iconic thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, the thumbs down. Then he challenged Hunter. Fight broke out, powerbomb through the table, and that right there turned Batista from being the bad guy now to the face that's going against Triple H and Flair. What was left of Evolution at that point?
So that match was at Mania 21.
Yeah,
which I think was like probably my first. No,
that actually too.
One of my couple first Manias.
That was when he went on to Mania, he ended up beating Hunter, and that was the first of 6 world title reigns in Batista's career.
He's only had 6.
Only 6, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, that was the lead to his first ever championship. So
I didn't realize that.
Yep.
So to bounce off of that one, I'm gonna go with Orton get kicked out of Evolution
Orton getting kicked out
as a heel to face turn.
Okay.
I mean, it's just it. So Orton was in there in the beginning. He joined Evolution in 2003. Like he said, Batista, Hunter, Flair. I don't know how to speak of this. 2004, he had a title shot against Chris Benoit. I don't really want to go and
yeah.
I don't really want to. He's never going to be talked about. But
we're talking about
this. I mean, this is part of Orton's arc. He had a match against that person in 2004. He won the title, big celebration. The next night on Raw, he who shall not be named got a title match.
Voldemort.
Yeah, got a rematch. Didn't win the rematch. Orton kept the title. That's when Batista threw him up on the shoulders. That's where the iconic. That's why I kind of want to do that one first. Thumbs up, thumbs down came from.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's when Hunter thumbs down, backdropped him. They all jumped up on Orton. That's pretty much Orton's beginning of his face.
That was the beginning of his solo run. The beginning of his
even in Evolution, he did a little bit of Legend Killer.
A little bit, yeah. But that was, that was kind of his rocket to superstar,
right?
Kind of like some other ones that we have later in the episode. You'll see is that turn initially just blasts him off into another stratosphere. So, but you know what?
I'm surprised you didn't have that. I'm surprised you didn't start with that.
Why do you always have me go first?
Because you have more than me.
But see, whatever. So. For my next one, I am going to say this was rather recently, but Sami Zayn turning on the Bloodline.
All right, I didn't put that one down. That's a good one. That would be a.
Well, see, when Sami joined the Bloodline, he wasn't necessarily a heel,
right?
But he also did heel things,
right?
Like he did things to fit in with the Bloodline to prove himself. So there was the heel tendencies. Obviously, he made the Bloodline a lot more funnier.
Right.
Like he brought that comedy aspect into it and everything. But was he like a full blown heel? No, because people still backed him.
Right.
But also that moment in the Bloodline story, which
Rumble, SummerSlam.
That was at the Royal Rumble in 2023. When KO was handcuffed to the ropes.
Right.
They were all attacking him, and then Roman was telling Sami to hit him with the chair. Sami didn't want to do it. Roman's yelling at him, then starts doing the face push and everything.
He smushed him.
Yeah, right in the face. And when Sami just picked up that chair and just hit Roman in the back, that crowd went insane. And that just right there catapulted Sami from being the heel / tweener to what everybody wanted. Him to stick up for himself finally, for him to be the good guy, the real hero of everything. And he took out Roman. After that, he did kind of get a beat down by the rest of the Bloodline. But that also helped because the heels attacked him. Sami was down.
Which made it more clear.
I didn't even write this down, but I just thought of it now. That's when Jimmy Uso and Solo attacked Sami after Sami hit Roman with the chair. Jay left the ring.
Oh, yeah.
That was the start of Jay splitting from the Bloodline, too.
It is.
And I didn't even think of that. I didn't even put Jay as one of my turns or anything. But when that happened and Jay left the ring and turned his back on Roman and stuff, that was kind of another little sidebar thing. But overall, my choice was Sami turn on Roman.
I'm going to go to another recent one. I'm going to go with the New Day heel turn on the 10th anniversary of the New Day. Well, even before that, there was you could see the bickering between Kofi and Xavier. Kofi's always been there was never a leader, but Kofi's always been the more whatever. And he even had a title shot, and he's like, no, I'm going to give it to Woods. I'm going to let Woods be the quarterback. I'm going to let Woods do whatever we need to do. And then the week before their 10th anniversary, they got in a big argument, whatever. It seemed like the New Day was done. So then that following week, they had a big celebration for them. They all came out. It sounded like they were going to split, and then you just hear Big E's music. And we even talked about it. We talked about people at work. We really thought Big E was going to come in,
kind of make everything right.
make everything right. Even if he can only be a manager, because we still don't know. He's still not cleared. We don't know if he's ever going to be cleared. But they were like, "No, you're back now because it's the anniversary. No, we're good. Like, you weren't there for us. You were more worried about your girlfriend and your family and this and that." They're like, "Nah, we don't need you, and we don't need you. We don't need you to come back. You're never coming back. We know you're not going to be cleared." Now they're coming out. You know, the music plays. Not cut the music. They're so trash talking the crowd. Kofi trash talked his mom. Even blacked his mom out on the Christmas cards.
Yeah, I think that was a heel turn that
I feel maybe they need it.
They needed it because New Day were good guys for the longest time.
I mean, and 10. It was that 10. So
10 years.
You can even say 12.
I mean, they started
years.
as heels, but that didn't last that long.
Lasted like 2 weeks.
But yeah, that was surprising, and the way they went after E and then brought in the real life injury into it and everything.
Yeah,
like that just added more.
I thought they were going to attack him that day.
That would have. I mean, like you said, we don't know if he's medically cleared at this point,
right.
But that would have put like icing on the cake there. But I mean, just the things they were saying and everything. I don't think anybody expected it, and that's what made it so much more important
right.
in the time. You know what I mean? But that's a really great one to do for.
That was like one of the first ones I thought of when we talked about this topic.
So I'm gonna go with a face turn again. I'm gonna stay in this realm.
Okay.
This one's going to be a little bit of old school. Back at WrestleMania 7, it's going to be Macho King versus the Ultimate Warrior. Basically, Macho King went into this match as a heel. Ultimate Warrior is the face.
This was right after the Mega Powers, right?
Yes. Yes, it was right after the Mega Powers. The match in itself, I mean, obviously, with the Warrior and stuff, it wasn't the most technical match in the world, but the storytelling is what matters because Macho had Sensational Sherry in his corner. That was part of his heel gimmick and everything. Basically, after the match, which Warrior went over, Warrior won, Sherry decided to turn on Macho Man. And when she did, Miss Elizabeth was sitting in the audience. Now, for people who don't know, Miss Elizabeth was Macho Man's on-screen and kind of in real life girlfriend
right.
for the longest time. But when Macho went heel, she's been off TV for, I think, they said almost a year. So Miss Elizabeth hasn't been in the picture for the longest time. So after the match, Sherry attacks Macho Man, and Miss Elizabeth is in the audience, ends up jumping the barricade, getting in the ring, pushing. I think she threw out Sherry, but the turn part comes after. So they're in the ring. Elizabeth is standing there, Macho's standing there. They're staring at each other, and at this point, like the crowd is just going insane because they've been waiting for this moment. They've been waiting for those two to get back together. And they had like an embrace, a hug in the ring, and that was it. The crowd lost it. Absolutely lost it. So that's why this like face turn really didn't have to do with much about the match itself. But what was more towards the storytelling of with Macho and Elizabeth.
That's when he put her up on the one shoulder, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, anybody who watches anything about wrestling might have saw that in a clip somewhere or something. That's
one of those, like, when they do, like, the Mania playbacks.
Yeah, watching people talk about that, like, they said that there was, back when, like, kayfabe was alive, kayfabe, which was, people believed wrestling was real.
Kayfabe's always alive, brother, come on.
That, the audience was insanely emotional about it, just because of the magnitude of those two being back together. And Macho was booed out of the building when he came into that match in the beginning, and after embracing with Miss Elizabeth was cheered. So that was like one of the most immediate face turns without him having to do anything except for a hug.
I like that one. I don't have any old ones like that. I do have a nice heel turn I want to talk about. I just got to find it here in my notes. I want to talk about the Bayley heel turn.
Ooh.
From hugger to whatever. She didn't really call herself anything. Her whole NXT run, she was the hugger. She came out. She would hug, the same fan in the crowd every week. she would come. Well, not come to her name was Izzy, but like her being a face made Izzy become a wrestler. Even through the four horsewomen, when she would battle Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, she was always face. And then on a SmackDown in 2019, Bayley came out with the hugger music with her little wacky flaily arm people and a handle to an axe, and just went and ripped up all the little Bayley huggers, took out the ponytail.
Yeah,
I believe she did. She beat Charlotte that night for the women's title.
Yeah, and even before that, because I have the same one. The initial heel turn was she attacked Becky with a steel chair.
Right, I think like the week.
Yeah, the week before that. Yeah. But I think that was huge for Bayley.
That's a big push for Bayley.
I mean, she was like really popular and really over in NXT, but like once she did that, that just like pushed her to.
I feel like that broke her away from the Four Horsewomen product.
Well, I mean, the hugger Bayley too. Honestly, that gimmick is like very kid friendly, very PG-ish.
Right.
I mean, how far can you honestly go?
That'll maybe work in NXT, but like coming up to the main roster,
you need a little bit of an edge with certain things. You need a little bit of an edge so you can cope with things.
Oh my god!
You like that?
I like that one.
All right, cool. You know what? I'm gonna stay on the same path as you, and I'm gonna stay with the heel turn, but I'm gonna go back older. Mine's going to be Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh,
back in the day, Sergeant Slaughter was basically this military man, Mr. America.
He was on G.I. Joe.
Yeah, exactly, doing nothing but the right thing all the time. Well, back in the 80s, he decided to turn heel, and he turned heel by siding with the Iron Sheik, which is Iranian.
Yeah.
And why this is such a significant heel turn is not only because like the guy who's like, you know, the military man turning his back on America was also the stuff going on in real life between countries and everything that was going on, which happened after this whole fact. So it kind of all tied in together. Sergeant Slaughter was, as a heel, was to a point where he needed security, like real life security, when he was going anywhere, traveling anywhere, because people wanted to legit hurt him, like not wrestling style hurt him. They actually wanted to legit hurt him. So that to me, even as a like growing up and watching wrestling and seeing someone like, oh my god, you turn your back on our country, like
wasn't it just like a shoulder? Like, didn't they walk by each other and hit shoulders or something? And that's either what started or what ended it. I think that's what started it.
I think so. But he even went as far as to go and put the boots on, like the Sheik had, with the, I forget what they're called. Woods used to wear them.
I know what you're talking about. With
that had the curly,
like the elf, like
on the
an elf shoe almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that to me is probably one of the best heel turns, in terms of what it did for wrestling and what it also meant for like real life.
That's definitely one of those like unpredictable.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever would have seen that coming whatsoever.
No way. To go with unpredictable, I'm gonna go with Daniel Bryan's heel turn to when he was the eco-friendly and he had the hemp title.
Yeah.
I mean, he won it low blowing AJ Styles on a SmackDown in 2018. Which I want to say is there's something, I don't know if that's when they debuted on Fox. For some reason, I don't know why, but that SmackDown sticks out to me for some special thing. Maybe it was like an anniversary episode. But that's when he low blowed AJ, becoming the Planet's champion. He would have the hemp belt, and that's when Eric Rowan went with him.
Yep.
And they always had he always had the hemp belt. He was, I'm doing, you guys are polluting, you're doing this, you're doing that. And that's what brought Kofi Mania, now that I'm thinking about it. I believe, because if he won it in November. I think that's the year Kofi won it at Mania and Kofi Mania started.
See how everything intertwines like that?
I'm just thinking of that now, actually. I mean, that's all I really have for that one. There's not really... It's just to see Daniel Bryan go from the Yes movement to the fans in the crowd with him, to doing that, you would never think AJ, and then being it's doing that to AJ, and then coming out. That belt was the dumbest belt. There's been some dumb belts.
One of the ugliest
that
things
was
I've
so.
ever seen.
It was like made out of hemp. It was so stupid.
Well, it's funny that you say about the crowd interaction because my next heel turn was based solely on crowd interaction. And that one is going to go The Rock, or at the time, Rocky Maivia.
Oh, I think Rocky. Oh, yeah, Rocky Johnson's his dad. What am I talking about?
Yeah, no, because he went Rocky Maivia. He had these like blue with like white and green outline trunk. I used to have the action
He
figure of
debuted
that.
at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Survivor Series.
He debuted as the biggest good guy in the world. Like, smiles, like, you know, shaking hands, holding babies type of guy. And the fans hated him.
Yeah.
They pushed him as a good guy. The fans absolutely hated him. To the point where they were chanting, "Die, Rocky, die." Then they decided eventually, okay, so we're going to turn him heel. And he turned heel. He joined the Nation of Domination. And the rest is history. That was the start of... Once he joined there, he actually got to be himself. That's where we started to get to see who the real Rock was. And... yeah, like... I know I just said it, but the rest is history. That was the start of...
You haven't watched it, you gotta watch Young Rock. It's on
I haven't watched
Peacock. That's like at least 2 or 3 episodes. That it's such a good show. It talks about like there's a part. I don't know if he's wrestling yet or not, but like there's a super young, like probably Roman, like maybe Riley's age, maybe a little bit older, and he's like, "Come on, Dwayne, wrestle me." And he's like, no. And he goes, "No, come on, Dwayne, acknowledge me." And he looks right into the camera, and when he says "acknowledge me," and it pauses, and The Rock's like, "Yeah, that'll come in a lot later." And it's like
kind of like breaking the fourth wall a little bit.
It's really some of those things are really funny. I'm gonna go with a. They've all been WWE so far, I believe. I'm gonna go to Ring of Honor, the only Ring of Honor one that I have, a CM Punk heel turn, which was technically his first Summer of Punk because they did do a Summer of Punk in WWE, but this is when rumors started going around. Punk signed with WWE. Punk signed with WWE. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. He won the title, the Ring of Honor World title, at Death Before Dishonor in 2005. He wins it. He grabs the mic. Yeah, that's right. I signed with WWE. I'm leaving. I'm taking this title with me. Booed out of everywhere. He would do. I was telling you a little bit before. He would cut promo with a fan with a fake mic and hold it up to the fan. The fan would talk. He would pull it away, and the fan would stop. And he'd be like, "What are you doing? This is a fake mic." And he would do this back and forth and back and forth. And that's when he started really becoming like the pipe bomb Punk that we saw years later on in WWE. But he was always a face in Ring of Honor until the rumors of him signing with WWE actually came true.
It's kind of funny how a lot of these things that we said so far have just such a
further impact.
Yeah. How something as small as just a simple heel and face turn could really just catapult and make wrestling. I don't know where I was going with that. Make wrestling. Yeah, it just makes things.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So, before I sound any more dumb, let's go into another one. I'm going to go with a heel turn, and it's going to be Andre the Giant. So, quick rundown, basically, Andre the Giant, if you don't know, was this massive man. Back in, I think he wrestled in the 70s and 80s and everything. Did a lot of wrestling overseas in France. Came over to the United States in around 1984, I believe. And from then to 87, he was a face. He was always the good guy. Always, everybody wanted to come see Andre the Giant. He was massive, 7 feet tall, like 500 pounds.
Yeah, something like that.
So everybody wanted to see the big guy. So I would say at the end of 86 and going into 87, there was a lot of jealousy going on screen between him and Hogan. Who was the bigger star? And eventually, on an episode of Piper's Pit, which, shout out to Roddy Piper, one of the best heels of all time.
Yeah, I think so.
On an episode of Piper's Pit, he basically came out and saying that he was better than Hogan, and he introduced his new manager, Bobby the Brain Heenan. And from that point on, this man that we saw, just this big, giant, gentle giant, good guy, turns just evil and just starts running through people and everything and wants to get his hands on Hogan. And to me, I think, obviously, back in that time with Hogan and Holcomb, like all that stuff going on, those two, no matter what you think of Hogan or anything like that, those two are two of the most iconic personalities in wrestling history. So when he turned heel and that caused those two to go against each other, I think that was massive. So that's why I wanted to throw that out there on my list.
I think to bounce off of that one, just because he was such a mega face, I'm going to go with Hogan turning heel and joining the NWO. When, to go back a little bit, when Hall and Nash left WWF at the time to go to WCW, the story was they were still part of WWF. They were going to invade. They were going to take over. And at a Bash at the Beach, I believe it was. Bash at the Beach? Yeah.
96.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a 3-on-3. You're going to have to help me. Luger? No. I can't think of anybody else on the other team.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't know why, but I want to say Luger, Macho Man, and somebody else.
Yeah, no, Macho.
I want to say Sting, but I don't think it was Sting. Regardless, it was 3 against Nash and Hall. The third man's coming. Nash and Hall pretty much decimating the whole match. Someone, I want to say it was Macho Man. I don't know why he's sticking out to me. Macho Man
was down.
He was down. He got hurt. Hogan comes out.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hogan, the face, comes to make the save. No. He comes to align with Hall and Nash. Pretty much start the Monday Night Wars to help go against WWF. But that is probably one of the big first heel turns after. Well, it was obviously after the Andre stuff. But I mean that seeing Hogan go heel,
seeing Mr. Good Guy,
right,
who's been good all his entire career, go heel.
That would be like
revolutionary.
That'd be like Cena going heel.
Yeah, which I don't think we'll ever see, but that would be great. Well, I mean, Cena was a heel technically,
but he wasn't. No, it was no one. He said
was a heel in the beginning.
He even said that wasn't him being a heel.
What was that him being?
That was just that. Everyone said he's never been a heel.
It was just him trying to stay.
Yeah, probably
stay relevant.
Yeah,
it was still heel tendencies.
Everybody has them.
I'm about to have more.
Yeah, I'm about to have one too.
But no, I agree. And adding on to what you said, which just something short, but I mean, arguably that might go down as probably the best heel turn of all time.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, there's probably a couple that could maybe stand up against it. But
I don't know. I feel like if we're going rankings, if we are putting them in a particular order, I think that would be number 1, and the gap between number 2 would be significant.
Yeah.
Just because I'm
I'm
not even the biggest Hogan fan.
Yeah, look what it did.
I'm not even the biggest Hogan fan,
right.
But I mean, for someone to be that loved by so many people, to turn his back, and then the catalyst to start the Monday Night Wars, to give WCW the edge. For beating WWF, WWE in the ratings for all those weeks in a row, like that was the start of everything.
Right.
So that was huge in wrestling.
I don't think WCW would have lasted as long as they did.
And then without all that, you don't have WWE trying to step up their game, and then have people like
I think without that, you don't have DX, honestly,
or you don't have on-screen Vince McMahon.
You don't, right?
Which is a good segue into my next.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Heel turn.
You're welcome.
Is Vince McMahon. So let me explain. I know this one doesn't make much sense.
No, we have one I have a big unconventional one.
So the way I'm looking at this is the Montreal Screwjob.
Right.
We already talked about it, right?
Right.
That was the first time we really seen Vince as an on-screen character other than a commentator. I remember growing up, for the longest time, I had no idea Vince even did anything besides just announce matches. Right. You know what I'm saying? So for the casual wrestling fan, seeing Vince come out and you know, taking charge of that. Brett got screwed, blah, blah, blah. Vince starts coming on TV. Now you have the birth of the authority figure, the evil authority figure. And that moment, the screw job, let's take away what happened with Brett and Shawn and all
Right.
that stuff. Vince doing that, Vince being the on-screen character, started the heel Vince McMahon that we all have known for
Till now.
still a heel. But yeah, I know it's not your conventional heel turn because nobody really knew who he was. He just called matches. He just sat ringside and he was the commentator. But to me, that was one of the most pivotal because that brought him as an on-screen character and that made him that just
Right.
the evil boss that now we see in almost every single wrestling promotion we watch. So
I'm gonna go with a quick one. It's not a memorable one. Big Show. Every week he'd be a face. Next week he'd be a heel.
Big Show would
The next-
literally change.
The next week he's a face. The next week he's a heel.
I think there was like an episode of like Raw that
Where he
was,
he like transitioned like 3 times.
yeah he was
With like the authority stuff.
yeah I'm not sure but
That's just one I wanted to throw in because it's just a funny one.
it is funny.
We're always gonna have real random ones like
Yeah, we gotta have some parody ones. We can't keep it 100% safe.
no.
If you want to go with a parody, if you want to go a little funny, want to keep it on that
Yeah,
line for right now.
sure for right now.
Dominic Mysterio,
Oh, heel to mega heel.
heel to super mega heel.
I also have Dominic Mysterio on my list.
That man went from being a heel in the Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley to turning on Rhea for Liv and becoming even more hated than he initially was. I don't know if I've ever remembered seeing a wrestler become more hated.
No. This man can't pick up a microphone without the crowd automatically booing him.
Yes.
And as soon as at that match at SummerSlam, when you see he's distracting the ref and you see the belt slide in, the chair slide in, you're like, what's going on? What's happening here?
Yeah.
And then for Rhea to lose, and then him saying afterwards, the kiss wasn't planned. That was just a thing. Come on, man.
I remember watching that. We watched that live.
We watched, and we were both
just
like,
what?
what's going on?
I wish we had a reaction or a video of our reactions at that time because that would be comedy gold. To be honest
That
with
would
you,
be. I'm gonna go with an AEW one. I'm gonna go with MJF's heel turn because in the beginning he was aligned with Cody, so obviously it made him a face. But even like the Young Bucks were like, something's off. Be careful. Something's going on. Cody had a match with Jericho for the world title, and Cody said, if I lose the world title, if I lose this match to you, I will no longer compete, whether you have it or not. I will no longer compete for the world title. So the match was I don't think I have where it was at. I don't. The match, I know it was on a pay-per-view. It was like one of their first pay-per-views. Jericho had Cody in the walls of Jericho, and he wasn't going to tap. MJF throws in a white towel flag, whatever, to say it's the end of the match. He went up to Cody, and Cody's like, what are you doing? Like, I wasn't going to tap, and Jim said, yeah, I know, but I did it for you. I did it for you. Cody's walking out, and MJF just cracks him from behind. Everybody called it. Everybody saw it was coming. That started. I mean, MJF's a heel now, and this has been going on for 5 years. But that started a lot of other turns going in the company. I think that's one of the things that probably pushed Cody out of the. He didn't push him out of the company, but that's probably where it started. Of Cody being like, maybe I don't want to be an EVP. Because then, I mean, I think they replayed it. Didn't he do something where he had to have 10 lashes in WWE? Cody. 10 lashes, like to the back. Because there was a part in AEW he had to get 10 lashes from like a leather belt, and like the crowd would boo, but then the crowd started to cheer. Like you can see, even though MJF was the heel and Cody was the face, you can see them starting to go towards Cody a little bit. I mean, towards MJF a little bit.
Yeah, like kind of just a natural progression of a turn.
Yeah.
Something that would really might not have been fully planned, but
right.
Once again, the crowd had an influence on it.
But even for like the Young Bucks to be like, yo, something's up with him. Like, be careful. We can see he's not like fully with you. To just throw in the towel for you when you're telling him not to.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's not take away the fact that MJF is probably one of the best heels of the generation.
Yeah, he's probably up there with Piper.
100%. Like, he's so at home, so natural as a heel. So I'm going to go into something really quick but I think you're gonna like this one. I'm gonna go a heel turn. Mark Henry's retirement speech.
The salmon suit. I
Yep.
love this. Yo,
Yep.
that's a good one.
Yep.
That's a good one. I like that one against my man Cena.
Yeah.
Damn.
He had everybody fooled. He had me
Yeah,
fooled.
yeah.
I will rewatch the footage now and still believe he's about to retire before he attacks Cena.
That's a good
Like
one.
that was such
That
a
was
well
really good.
executed thing. And I mean, we've seen some like things like that now recently, but up until that point,
That
I
was
don't
probably
think,
like one of the first ones, though.
yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Like when he did it.
Right. That was a real good one. To piggyback off my last one, I'm gonna go with a little bit of an unconventional heel to face turn. Cody leaving AEW to come back home. Near the end of his career, it doesn't matter what he was doing. He was just getting booed out of everywhere.
He was booed out.
He
of the
was
building.
he couldn't obviously he lost that match to Jericho, so he couldn't challenge for the title the whole way through. People thought so in the beginning he was only Cody. A couple years later, WWE didn't renew the trademark for Rhodes, so he took Cody Rhodes. A lot of people thought, oh, now he's Cody Rhodes, he's gonna go for the title because he's not just Cody anymore. He didn't. They started booing for that. He put him. A lot of people thought he was putting himself in the limelight, but he really wasn't. He had a couple TNT title matches, I think, to push the other guys. He had a phenomenal match with Brody before Brody passed away, but then just coming home at WrestleMania 38 against Seth, and it wasn't known, but it was known. We all knew he was coming back, but he came back to such a roar, and it blows my mind that literally a month before he's getting booed out of the company that he helped build.
Yeah, it was,
To come into an outstanding ovation.
yeah, it was really crazy to see how much like it went, and he didn't do anything.
Right? No, he didn't do anything. Everybody just thought he was going to put himself in matches, which is kind of
But
what
like
the Bucks
he
did.
didn't even have to like do anything or say anything. Like
Right.
AEW, he's getting booed. Comes to WWE and he's like
Getting cheered.
cheered out the building.
Right.
It's insane.
Right.
So I'm gonna go stick along the lines of heel turns, and I know you probably have this one as well.
Probably.
Seth turning on the
Oh,
Shield.
I have that one. Yeah, buddy.
Not only did nobody really see that happening, when he hit Roman with that chair, that was insane. Obviously, that put Seth in basically straight to the main event status as a
Yeah.
single star.
Yeah.
Not only did it like help catapult his career, it helped
You would call Moxley Ambrose.
I'll call him Moxley. It helped him establish himself as a solo star in the company, but we all knew he was before that,
Right.
anyways. But then that was kind of the
I mean,
the backstory, the lore of Roman. That's what turned Roman.
I mean, it's still talked about to today. It's still like, at Mania, they were like, "You caused this. You're the reason." Even Seth was like, I have to watch him because I hit him in the back with a chair, and this is why he's doing what he's doing now."
So I mean, you have all
And
that.
for Hunter to be like, "Hey, I want you to come with us," kind of. I mean, it wasn't in Evolution, even though we were going against Evolution, but
Still, I think it was.
I mean, I still remember Hunter just going, "There's always a plan B," and then you just see Seth cracking with the chair.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And just they kept the camera on him, just
Right.
and for it just to soak in, and for every like I don't know, it was just to me it was one of my favorite of all time.
I'm gonna bounce off of that one and go Ambrose turning on Seth.
Wow, that's a good one.
There was a Raw, I think it was after a pay-per-view. Roman came out, "Hey, my name is Joe Ananui. I had leukemia. It's back. I have to relinquish the title." Like I think he was still being booed at that time, Roman.
Yeah.
But he came out and did that, and the crowd stopped. He went up to the top of the ramp. Seth and Dean came out. I believe they hugged and then did a little shield thing. Later on, "Hey, in your honor, we're gonna go for the tag titles against, I want to say Drew and Dolph." At the end of the show, they went and won the titles from Drew and Dolph. "Roman, this is for you. This is for you." They turn around. Ambrose's DDT set right there in the middle of the ring. Everyone's like, "We thought you were doing this for Roman. What's going on? What are you doing?" It wasn't the greatest heel run because he did weird stuff with a mask and other stuff, but
Still, I don't think the run has much to do with it. I just think it's the context.
The impact of that night of just everything.
Yeah.
Everything happening.
Roman
that
leaving
night.
because he had the medical issues,
Right.
and thinking that they're gonna stick together in honor of Roman, and then for him to turn, like that was
the
the execution
yeah.
was No, I like that one. I
That's
didn't.
definitely one of those I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, no, I remember that like vividly, and I didn't see that coming either. I'm surprised I didn't think of that.
Right. I think that was one of the couple first ones I had down. Right after the set, they went because I was like, oh, I know he's put Seth with the Shield. I'm gonna put Ambrose against Seth.
I got two little quick ones that I don't have really much to go into. But think back for a face turn when Daniel Bryan was with the Wyatts.
Okay. I mean, you can even say Orton with the Wyatts.
Yeah.
Was that your other one? Did I steal it from you?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. No, this one is just pretty quick because he wasn't with the Wyatts for that long. He wasn't a heel for that long.
Maybe a month.
It was kind of like since he joined him, the fans wanted him to turn on him. So we were just waiting for when Bryan was going to turn face and turn on Bray.
Right.
And it was just the anticipation of waiting. Like I said, it wasn't too long of a rivalry. That's why I don't.
That's why it wasn't nothing.
But once it happened, it was at a steel. It was in a steel cage.
Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it for tag titles?
I think I'm not 100% sure, but all I remember the part vividly is that he climbed up and was sitting on the top of the cage to just the yes chants of the whole crowd.
Yeah.
So that was one of them. Another quick one that I want to throw in there is LA Knight.
To it heel? Oh,
when
he was Jesus Christ. When he was
with the Maximum Male Models.
Yeah, I can't think. Why can't we think of his name when he was in there?
And basically, there was that backstage segment where he walked back. They were all there. What's her name? She's with Alpha Academy.
I know. I can't think of because.
Oh my god.
We'll get there.
And then he was with Mansoor and Mace, and
right.
He just started like he
didn't he hit him crack him with a chair?
No, he punched Mansoor, and he's just like going off about this is not what we are, this is not blah blah blah, and then he takes off the belt and he throws it down, and as he's walking away, Maxine
Dupree, because they would go Dupree.
Yeah, Maxine.
So was it Max Dupree? Is that
it? Was Max, yeah. He took off his belt that had the M on it, threw it at those guys, and why I'm saying that because when he left them, he wasn't fully a face,
right?
But after he did all that, he threw the belt and he was walking away. He was like, "Yeah," and that was the start of him. Obviously, he did it in other promotions, but bringing that back, going back to the LA Knight character, and we know how popular he is.
Oh my god, he's so over now.
Yeah, so over. But that was just a little one I wanted to throw in there. Wasn't a major turn, but
it's a fun one.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
I'm gonna go with one that I talked to you about yesterday that I didn't realize was a face turn. Nash leaving NWO Hollywood to make NWO Wolfpack. So during it, Hogan was always, we know Hogan had power in the back, but Hogan was always more worried about his own image, keeping his power, this, that. Nash wanted to go back to how NWO was in the beginning, rebellious, doing whatever they wanted, doing this, doing that. So at Slamboree in 98, there was a tag match. Hogan, I don't know how you accidentally leg drop your partner, because I can see accidentally punching. I don't know how you accidentally leg drop your tag team partner.
That's easy. You never done it before?
No, I don't know.
Happens all the time.
So somehow he accidentally leg dropped Nash. They got a little confrontation. The next night on Raw, Nash is like, whatever, I'm done, I'm out. He's making NWO Wolfpack. It's more rebellious like it was in the beginning, but from what I looked up, a lot of people were saying it's more fan-friendly version of the NWO. I don't know.
It was just the good guy version of the NWO.
Because, eventually they all came back together anyways.
Well, yeah.
Right.
At the time, everybody in the world was in the NWO.
Everybody was in the
Dennis
NWO.
Rodman was in the NWO.
Right. I had that. I had the Dennis Rodman NWO action figure.
Me too. Had green hair, right?
Yeah.
See? Yeah.
I don't know. It was when I looked it up, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about that one.
So since I have more than you, I'm going to quick fire two more.
Go ahead.
Two more at you.
I don't have that many more.
This one was back in 1992, and it was a small turn, but it was The Undertaker turning from heel to face.
I saw that, and I was just like, I don't know.
The Ministry. Why I like it? Not the Ministry.
That's what I mean. It wasn't Ministry stuff, so I didn't really.
No, it was basically Jake the Snake was in this feud with Macho Man, And I forget who Macho wrestled at the time, but after the match, him and Elizabeth were walking to the back. And Jake was standing behind the curtain with a steel chair, just holding it back, ready to swing at whenever they walk through. Soon as Macho and Elizabeth get through the curtain, he goes to swing, and you see a hand reach out and grab the chair. It was Taker's hand.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
So Taker started obviously as a heel and was a heel, and he was this scary guy because at the beginning he never talked, never did anything.
Right.
This absolute scary guy, and then now all of a sudden, why is this like monster protecting Macho and Elizabeth? And then it started this really good feud between Jake and Undertaker. But
that's a good one. I didn't.
And I only said it because Taker is just this enigma, anyways.
Right.
But back then, Taker was just, as soon as he debuted, people were scared. Like, you saw kids crying in the front row and everything. Why would you ever cheer for this man? And now all of a sudden, you're cheering for him.
Right. I looked for some Taker ones because I thought even like somehow when he came out as American Badass, it was like a face turn, but it really wasn't.
Another quick one that I want to throw in there is, and you're probably going to remember this one. This led to some really good heel work. So, Chris Jericho turning on Shawn Michaels.
I think you're saying KO.
No, it was after Shawn Michaels had the retirement match with Ric Flair at WrestleMania. And Jericho ended up having an issue with that and starting this beef with HBK. Jericho goes full heel. But this is what started the suit and tie Chris Jericho.
Didn't he smash Sean's head into like a TV on the
yeah, and also something happened with his wife too. That there was a segment, but also this started the Chris Jericho suit and tie
list. The list?
Not the list. It was the heel, the mega heel Chris Jericho.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the one that everybody says the Miz copied of. Yeah, that started this. So this led into this like amazing, some of his best heel work ever started from that. And at the time, like
that's a good one.
When Shawn Michaels and Flair had that match, like obviously kayfabe wise, Shawn didn't want to end his career,
right?
And Jericho was a big face at the time, big good guy. You never really expected that to happen, but then from that you get one of the best heel characters of the common era.
A good one, yeah.
So
I'm gonna go with. I'm just now realizing I have like three that all go together. Wardlow leaving MJF's side as a heel to face turn. After the stuff happened with Jericho and Cody, and MJF turned on Cody. MJF hired Wardlow, this big brawly dude, looking like Obafemi almost, to be his bodyguard. He was always there. He would always, do the bodyguard stuff, interfere, this, that, whatever. Eventually, he was getting tired of it. There was I like his finisher, the Powerbomb Symphony. He would just do like 4 or 5 powerbombs in a row. MJF would start slightly trash talking Wardlow. I brought you in. You're not signed with AEW. You're signed under me. Hey, you were gonna go attack. Hey, attack this guy. Or he would have the ref distracted. Hey, hit him. He would hit him with Powerbomb Symphony, but he would keep going to make sure the ref saw him. So he's done that in a couple important matches where he would powerbomb the ref. He would powerbomb, make sure the ref would see, and MJF was like, "What are you doing? You're making me lose these matches." MJF had a match with CM Punk at Revolution in a dog collar match, and he always had. In the beginning, they had a weird match for like the Dynamite Diamond ring and never led anything. It's just a ring, but MJF has always had it. He's always used it to hit people. Wardlow had it in his pocket. He came down. He wasn't there the whole match. He came down. MJF's like, "Give me the ring, give me the ring, give me the ring." He threw the ring in the match, but it was closer to Punk. It was like a foot away from Punk when MJF was on the total other side of the ring. So of course, Punk grabbed it, hit him, knocked him out, won the match. MJF's like, "What are you doing? Why would you do that?" It kind of started a little bit of a turn, but then they had a match at Double or Nothing where MJF, I don't know if it's MJF or Wardlow, one of the two. I think it was MJF. If I win, I'm not under contract with you. I'm going to AEW. It was pretty much a squash match. It was just powerbomb. It was like 15 minutes of powerbombs. Kind of like a Lesnar suplex match. And Wardlow's always been like this really built guy. Really, it's AEW doesn't know what to do with him. They probably should have just kept him heel and kept him with MJF, but that was one of those face turns where you're like, I never saw this happening, because why would anybody want to leave like the top heel in the company?
I think those are the best. Is when you don't ever expect them to happen.
Right.
One that nobody really ever expected to happen and expect the outcome to come from it. You probably have the same one. Shawn Michaels throwing Marty Jannetty through the barbershop.
Why don't I have that one? Why don't I have that? I've literally got, I think, 2 left. I don't have that one.
I'm out. Check, please.
So behind the scenes, we're gonna do eventually like who's the Jannetty, and it is my most anticipated show. I can't wait to do it, and I don't have this. I don't know why I don't have this. You know why? Because I was trying to look for more face turns, and I gave up on looking for heel stuff because heel is so much easier to do.
You know what?
What? Go ahead, turn heel.
No.
I can't believe I don't have that. Did I make the list?
You just made the list.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I'm a failure.
I mean, that was the kickstarted Shawn Michaels' career. Turning on Marty Jannetty like that, breaking up the Rockers.
That was the downfall of Jannetty's career, probably.
Yeah, that was probably the end. But that gave us the Shawn Michaels we know today. There's not much else you could really say about it, but nobody expected it to happen. Nobody expected anything like that to happen. Or really, him to become as big of a star as he did. But I mean, yeah,
let's see who we got in with, though.
I mean, he's still one of the best in-ring workers of all time. Let's be honest.
I mean, DX is got to be one of the greatest factions.
But yeah, Shawn Michaels turning on Marty Jannetty. That was one of my biggest heel turns of all time.
Damn, I don't have that. That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to hop into another one. This one is going to go back to the Ring of Honor days.
I couldn't find a lot of Ring of Honor ones.
Basically, was this in the history of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Oh, okay.
Or Kevin Owens, as he was known in Ring of Honor as Kevin Steen, and Sami was known as El Generico.
Right.
Basically, this was the beginning of multiple rivalries that they've had together. They teamed up a lot as well, but basically at Final Battle 2009, after a loss to the Young Bucks, Steen basically says to Generico, I hate your effing guts, and just demolishes him with a chair. Nobody expected it because those two were always like partners, always good together, and just completely just beats him to a pulp, for a lack of better words. And that's just, it was so surprising at the time because that really pushed Steen into this like mega heel category.
I mean, it's still going on today
in Ring of Honor. I mean, yeah, but he's a good face too, but he's still a great heel. And that really shocked everybody at the time. Like nobody expected that to happen. So that is going to be one of my biggest heel turns, one of my favorites. And then talking about their partners turning on each other, Macho Man turning on Hulk Hogan is going to be another one of my heel turns.
The Mega Powers breaking
up. The Mega Powers breaking up. And a lot of that had to do with Miss Elizabeth.
Because Macho thought Hogan had an eye for Miss Elizabeth.
Macho was getting jealous. Hogan was helping Miss Elizabeth Law. Liz was accompanying Hogan to the ring and stuff. And then eventually Macho was like, I'm not having any of this. And he wanted to beat up Hogan. I mean, now in hindsight, I can understand why.
He wanted to snap it like
But at the time, you have two of your biggest stars in WWF together as the Mega Powers. I mean, their name literally says what they are. Two of the biggest talents in the world together. And then one of them decided to turn on the other. So that, to me, was huge.
I'm going to go with Kenny Omega getting fired from the Elite.
Ooh.
The Elite, obviously the Young Bucks, Kenny, Hangman. It's going to kind of sound like a Hangman story, but I feel like he was a heel in the group and was always a heel. But they were feuding with the Blackpool Combat Club at the time, which I think Regal was still technically a part of, but it was Moxley, Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac. at the time. They always had matches. Kenny started to do stuff where he would try to take the lead of the Elite because obviously, like back in the day, he was a leader of the Bullet Club. The Elite's just like an offshoot.
It's like an offset of the Bullet Club, yeah.
Hangman, remember though, Hangman started acting wildly, attacking refs, doing whatever, because he remembered the backstage downhanded stuff Omega would do when they were in the Bullet Club. So at Revolution last year, he attacked the refs. I don't remember what. Maybe Kenny didn't even show up, but that's when the Young Bucks started to do where the executive vice presidents, where the EVPs,
the corporate.
We're gonna come out. Yeah. So they came out in suits and they're like, "Hangman, from what you did, you're fired. Kenny, for you not showing up, you're also fired." When really, that's when the diverticulitis started to come up.
Yeah, they just needed a reason.
Yeah. But he did come when he came back. He tried going with the Young Bucks. They came out, they hugged him, but they gave him the EVP trigger, so he was down on the ground. At that time, they had Okada kind of replace Kenny, so Okada came out, and we all know that rivalry from New Japan, so they started going at it. I never would have thought I would have seen... I mean, we've seen Kenny and the Young Bucks do things separately, but I never thought we would see, like, a heel and a face.
Between like rivals.
Right.
Yeah.
Because later on, I remember there's a clip of Kenny being in... like the hospital from his diverticulitis. And he's like, I can't wrestle, but I'm still an EVP. I can still make matches. I'm going to find like the best friends that I have and have them go up against you to see what's going to happen. And it's still going on right now. He's still trying to, whenever the Young Bucks disappeared for a little bit, but I think when they come back, that feud's still going to be there.
Well, I think I'm going to go a little piggyback off you, let's say, because you mentioned the Elite as being an offset of the Bullet Club. I'm going to talk about how the Bullet Club was formed.
That's good. I like that.
Back in New Japan, there was a wrestler by the name of Prince Devitt, who is now Finn Balor.
I used to call him Deviant. I didn't realize it was Devitt. Yeah.
Maybe it is, and I'm just pronouncing it wrong.
It's Devitt.
Okay, cool. Essentially, he was a good guy worker over there and everything, and he ended up turning heel, meeting up with a couple guys, Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga, Machine Gun Anderson.
Yeah.
And Devitt's heel turn, literally, while the heel turn itself wasn't as memorable, the heel turn led to the creation of the Bullet Club, which is still going on to this day.
Right.
So that's why I think that heel turn should definitely be up there, because although the Bullet Club's not as big as the NWO,
or DX, or
the Bullet Club has been ongoing for so long now. And you have so many people that have been through, like, I don't even want to get into it because we can spend the next hour talking about the people in the Bullet Club.
Yeah, we can do an episode on Bullet Club alone.
But I mean, for how influential the Bullet Club has been to the wrestling industry, that heel turn led to that. So that's why that reason alone is why it would have to be high on the list. Here's one.
Let me bounce my last one off of you because it revolves that one.
Okay.
Anybody entering or leaving the Bullet Club? Anybody? I remember watching Ring of Honor. The Young Bucks are in the ring. They were just about to give Bullet Club shirts to, I want to say like Christopher Daniels and maybe Kazarian. The lights go out. The lights come back on. There's Adam Cole in the ring. Never had nothing to do with the Bullet Club. Has a Bullet Club shirt on. He was always a face in Ring of Honor. Bullet Club shirt on, becomes a heel. Then when he got signed with WWE, when he got kicked out of the Bullet Club and Marty Scurll joined the Bullet Club, that showed Adam Cole becoming the face and Marty Scurll coming in to be the heel. Like, it's pretty much just like NWO. Anybody leaving or entering, there's always a big heel.
Unlike the NWO, like, Bullet Club evolves.
Right.
So there's always new people. I feel like NWO was always like the same people coming back and forth.
I feel like there was more of a story when you left or entered the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
And NWO was just, hey, you're not popular this week, you're out.
Yeah. And like the guys who led the Bullet Club and went to other promotions, like look what happened.
Right. They're making
Kenny.
They're making Bullet Clubs and other promotions.
AJ, like,
yeah.
It's not even they're making Bullet Clubs and other promotions. It's just when you're the leader and then you finally leave to go somewhere else, you're already at that superstar.
You're already top.
It helps build the reputations, build the characters too. I do like that one. That's a good one.
That was my other honorable mention besides the Big Show from before.
I have a little short one that you'll probably like this one. Everybody loves Steiner Math, right? So one of my heel turns is Scott Steiner turning on his own brother Rick. It was at a Super Brawl in 1998. You're a tag team for how long? Spanning WCW, WWE. You're the Steiner brothers, one of the best tag teams in the entire world. Your own brother now turns on you. And that led into the Big Papa Pump character, which, let's be honest, maybe not the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, but I don't care.
But the man, you give him a microphone, I don't care how long he's talking, I'm listening.
I just saw something the other day where it said there's a theory going around that he cleaned up his act so that Braun Breaker can get the push he has.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's what I mean. That's probably
You
something
don't need to clean up your act, though. You're hilarious,
Right.
just the way you are.
That's something I feel like we dive into one day, but it just I don't know, stuck out to me.
Here's another one that you might enjoy. And this is a little non-conventional, but kind of conventional. Paul Bearer turning on The Undertaker.
To go with Kane.
Which leads into the debut of Kane.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, Paul Bearer hasn't always been The Undertaker's manager for his entire career.
Yeah.
But it's synonymous when you think back.
Right.
Undertaker, Paul Bearer, hell, even the names match. But when he turned on Taker and then Kane came out, I think that was huge. That was one of the biggest oh my god moments. Going off of an oh my god moment that you never thought would happen, you know, Paul Bearer with turning on
this
Kane.
podcast starting?
Yeah, is this a heel or a face turn?
We don't know.
I don't know.
We'll ever know.
Yeah, well. How about when Stone Cold decides to turn heel and align himself with Vince?
During the Invasion era, or
not with the Invasion era, was with basically it was when Austin and Rock were going for the title. And for some reason Vince shows up and slides the steel chair in the match to Austin. Austin ends up humbling the Rock, beating him, winning the title, whatever. And then at the end of everything that was going on, Austin and McMahon in the ring facing each other, and then they shake hands.
Isn't that technically Rock's face turn as well? Because wasn't
I don't know if that would have been.
I swear I remember looking that up, turn, and that was
because I mean Rock and Austin have always kind of been tweeners, really.
Right.
But Austin was fighting all those years, him and Vince. We talked about that in our biggest rivalries.
Right.
Vince and Austin now shaking hands. Like as a little kid, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Like, what are you doing?
I was throwing away my Stone Cold figures. they were like going in the garbage.
What are you doing? You're just beating your boss up, and now
you're
shaking
terrible.
his hand.
Yeah. That was like a holy shit moment, and him turning heel. I mean, it didn't last long because obviously you can't hate Stone Cold,
right?
But still, that was one of those. Here's a short one that you might enjoy. Eddie betraying Rey Mysterio. And you already know what that led into.
Oh,
that led into a little Dom. His first little appearances on TV, and still not knowing who Dom's true father is.
I say it's Eddie.
I think it's Eddie too. I mean, damn, you just see the way that they look at each other. Honestly, I have one left.
My last one was my little honorable mention.
My one left is actually the one that when we brought up this topic, one of our friends decided to tell us, "Hey, this would be a really good one."
Who?
The rare double turn.
Who? Abel?
Yeah.
I don't remember Abel. I don't listen to Abel.
So basically, what a double turn is two guys go into a wrestling match, one good, one bad, and then they leave the wrestling match opposite. The good guy is now the bad guy. The bad guy is not a good guy. It's very rare to happen.
Okay, I do remember now because I think I remember the match you brought up.
Yes, it's very rare to happen, and it's even rarer to pull off correctly. But
it hasn't happened in a while, has it?
Now, Stone Cold against Bret Hart.
I was gonna say Rock against Austin at Mania.
Oh, so we're on a different page.
Well, it's the same thing though.
Well,
because Rock was the face and Hogan was the heel. Because it was right when NWA was like breaking up. Because that's like the year when like.
Yes, no, I remember that one. I don't really feel that as a double turn because even at the end of the match they kind of gave each other love and it is what it is.
I remember that it started out with Rocky chants and then like halfway through it turned into the Hogan chants.
Yeah,
because they're even going, "The hell's going on here?"
Yeah, but I think it wasn't so much a double turn. I think that one was Hogan was a bad guy, Rock was a good guy, and then at the end they were both good guys.
Okay, yeah, maybe Rock didn't
But
go
this
bad.
one, Bret Hart came in as the good guy, Stone Cold was the bad guy, and then at the end of the match, Bret was the heel now, and Stone Cold was the face.
Okay.
It's so memorable. Austin with his bloody face, Bret Hart with the
Having
sharpshooter on.
Sharpshooter, he's just, yeah.
He didn't tap out. He ended up passing out. Ken Shamrock was the guest referee, called for the bell. Bret Hart refusing to break the hold after the fact. I don't know. I just think that it's one of those times in history where that double turn was executed absolutely perfectly. It brought in Stone Cold to be in the face and more the face of the company, and Bret
I wonder
Hart.
if we
in
could
the
do
heel.
an episode on double turns. I wonder if there's enough.
We had a hard time finding face turns.
I could
You're gonna
not.
look for double
I
turns?
could not find face turns for the life of me. I had to pull some of them out of my.
And I'll be honest, I think that is everything that I have.
That's everything that I have. I'm surprised we didn't have more of this. I mean, I knew we were gonna have some of the same. Did you have Ambrose turn on Seth?
No. I do like that though. I'm surprised I didn't think about it.
It took me a little bit to and be like, you know what, that is a heel turn.
Because I just want to throw in there that we do research on this stuff, but we also try not to lean on doing research as much.
Right.
We try to do this off the top of the head.
I don't it sounds dumb. And we'll sit on break sometimes at work and talk about something but can't remember it. And we'll sit there all break. Both of us have phones in our hands not looking it up because we want to try to remember it.
I mean, I know this is very, very, very hard to believe, but we're
not perfect.
No, we're stubborn people.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, I understand that to
It's
everyone
hard
watching.
I know it's hard to believe.
Especially people knowing us that
It's shocking.
we'd be
that-
stubborn
yeah.
at all. But no, I wanted to say though that we do the research to try to get the facts. So if I remember something, I don't want to just come out and say something and not have anything to go with it. So I'll research the facts. But we try to do everything off the top. If we miss things, like we said in previous episodes, if we miss something and you guys have an idea for something, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
We can make it another video.
Call us out. That's fine.
Yeah, you don't have to call us out. Like,
Call us out. I knew.
cut a promo on us if you
Yeah,
need to.
I know. Last week I did say that I had 83 weeks wrong, and I did. I was told at work, hey, you said it wrong. Put it down in the comments down below. It's fine. You can call us out.
Yeah,
we like that. It's more of interaction.
We're not gonna make this perfect. We don't want to make this perfect. I mean, we could edit the shit out of this video if we really wanted to try to hide some of the flaws. But what's the point?
You guys see, we don't do it. We'll go a little. What do we used to call it? We're gonna go in the gorilla. We're recording right this on my phone right now because the camera's uploading on my laptop. So I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna edit the beginning a little bit, the end a little bit when we're trying to shut the phone off, and it's gonna go up.
I mean, the level of preparation, the level of production might go up as we learn more. But also, we're not ever going to over-edit anything. So we want to just keep it real, keep it raw. This is how we are. This is how we talk on a day-to-day basis. God bless everybody who's around us.
I feel bad for everybody.
But yeah, I just wanted to throw that at the end there, too.
We do have a list of it's notes, but it's a list of stuff we want to do for the podcast, of ideas and stuff. But if you guys have ideas that you want us to do, maybe we didn't think of, or if you do say it and we can't figure out what to do, but we have it in our list, that could be our next one. Yeah. It takes us 3 days to figure out what we're gonna do with the next one. If you guys have an idea and we're going through the comments and we see it, cool, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. And all it is essentially, when you boil it down, it's just having fun. Yeah. We decided to start recording ourselves doing the same thing we do all the time. Making fun of each other and talking about wrestling. And that's it.
I did see, this probably should have been in the other part. I know I told you, I did see AEW was coming to Philly for a pay-per-view.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think that'd be pretty cool to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little live content, live updates.
Yeah. At the show, it's a Sunday, which I swear their pay-per-views are Saturday, but that'd be something that I think I want to do for this show. That would even be the podcast for that week.
We can add that as an extra video.
Yeah, when we start getting more and more fans.
That's all right. We got a bunch. We got a bunch from when we started, though. We do.
We have a lot. We have a list.
And just to say thank you to the people who are watching us, subscribing, and following us, and we really do appreciate it. Like I said, this is something that we've always wanted to do. We always talked about, and we're just happy that it's going on, and hopefully you guys are enjoying everything. So, I mean, I don't got anything else. How about you?
I mean, I know we're enjoying it. We're having fun.
Oh, I'm having a blast doing
This is what we do. We're just doing it now in front of a camera.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
it. It's not hard. It's not. I mean, making quality content is hard, but what I'm saying is
we're not trying to do that. We're not
doing this, and we're not trying to make
right.
quality content. No,
we're not trying to be the top wrestling podcast. Maybe eventually, years down the way, but right now it's just a spare room in my house and two friends talking about their passion of wrestling.
And maybe us talking about our passion of wrestling will rub off on some other people, and y'all will get into it more than you are now. So,
I think that's it. I think we're cool.
All right. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your nights, days, weeks, whatever.
See you guys next week.